Welcome to episode 124 of the Epilogue Lady podcast. My name is Bente and I'm coming to you from Vesterålen, northern Norway, where I live with my husband, my oldest son and 3 cats. You can find me on Instagram as Arctic Crafts, on Facebook as Arctic Crafts by Bente, and on Lavallee as Arctic Crafts 65. There is also a Ko-fi page for this podcast where you can support me and help me pay for shipping, for prices and purchasing of prices. I think that's it. I haven't done this for a while, so it's been a really nice summer, a bit hectic at times, but we've been lucky with the weather. I haven't been able to get everything I wanted to do done. I still haven't cleaned my windows on the outside. I can tell now the sun comes in through them. I just use my garden hose and I just give them a rinse. Maybe I could do that one of these days, but you're not supposed to do that while the sun is shining, apparently, because then you can get streaks. Or so I'm told. First things first, let's do the admin for the make-alongs, because I have one make-along that ended August 31st, the Arctic Summer of Socks, and one make-along that started yesterday, September 1st. And I'm going to announce the winners for the Arctic Summer of Socks. And the first winner that I drew was Sandvan. Your Lavallee handle is on the screen now. And you won this skein of self-striping from Asfaltsflickan. The second winner I drew was Knitting Bandit 1. You've won this skein from Heavenly Fiber. And the last winner is Trude FF. And you won this skein of Arctic Crafts yarn that I dyed up for prices. I dyed up 2 of these. I decided to save one for the Spooky Mail because I got a limited amount of prices. And I still have 3 make-alongs this year. Sorry, 2 make-alongs this year, and I haven't got a lot of prices. So, and the Spooky make-along that started yesterday, it's the same rules as every year. It's anything spooky or harvest themed. I add the harvest because not everybody loves Halloween. So Halloween or spooky or harvest themed. I can't speak today. I'm out of practice. And of course spinning in autumn colors or Halloweeny colors, because I'm sort of obsessed by spinning. So spinning, of course, is and if you're spinning, you are welcome to double dip in the fluff to stuff and the Spooky Mal if you're spinning something that works for both. And the same is going to apply for the Grinch make-along when that starts. That starts November 1st. And the Spooky make-along ends October 31st. I need more coffee. Obviously, I need more coffee. I'm wearing one of my FOs. It's a Rocket Tee by Tanis Lavallee or Tanis Fiber Arts. And it's a warm day today, but I'm still wearing knitwear because I wanted to wear this. It's made from handspun. And the fiber is from Coastal Colors, and I got it at Unravel when we went there this summer. So, not this summer, no. early in the spring. That's what I'm saying. I'm out of practice and I haven't got the brain space for this, to be totally honest. I have a lot of other things happening, so I could do a bit of live stuff here. I'm working Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 to 4, and that sort of wrecks the rest of my week. Wednesdays, I was supposed to dye fiber and yarn on Wednesdays. That was supposed to be my dyeing day. I need to dye some fibers. I'm going to show you what I'm using the fiber for at show and tell, at the end at the end of the episode. But I get so exhausted from working that I struggle getting anything done on Wednesdays. Hopefully, practice makes perfect. So eventually I'm going to get used to the work. I'll start showing you my FOs. It's an eclectic mix this time. It's a bit of sewing actually, and some spinning, and some knitting. So, as I said, what I'm wearing is one of my FOs. We can take the knitting first. Do the knitting first. Let's see, we have this sweater. It's the Tresse by Isabell Kraemer. And it's a DK. So this is something I can start wearing end of this month maybe. The yarn is Arctic Crafts Extra XR Merino DK, and the colorway is Unicorn. What unicorn? And I have leftovers, and this yarn has nylon in it, so the leftovers I will probably use for a pair of socks. So that's... I love Isabell Kraemer. I'm not sure you have probably noticed, because I knit a lot of Isabell Kraemer patterns, and she just released a new one called Alhambra. I of course bought it. I haven't decided what yarn to use for it. I have some Picasso. It's a commercial brand, Viking Picasso. It's a tweedy yarn, bought on sale. I'm not sure why I bought it, because it's a discontinued color and it's yellow. I'm not a yellow person, but the yellow looked like a warm golden yellow online, and it's a greenish yellow. So I'm not sure I'm going to wear the sweater if I knit it with that yarn. The pattern is for fingering held with mohair or alpaca. I'm going to do the math and knit it with fingering, so I get to use it. But that was a digression. I have more knitting, one more knitting FO. And it's a Musselburgh, or is it Musselburgh? I think it's Musselburgh, by Ysolda Teague. And it's the normal Musselburgh. It's... I don't want to... So this, I just turned it out, inside out, because it's reversible. This is handspun. It's all of it dyed by me. It's a neon, one strand neon and one strand light gray, and it was perfect. So, and this is going to be a really, really warm hat. It's I seem to remember that it's either Cheviot or Corriedale. That's the problem with having all those breeds. If I don't take proper notes, I forget what breed it is. So that is... So those are my knitting FOs. And then I can show you my sewing FOs. I have one that I can't show you because it's already at my youngest son's place. He wanted the big one. So he took that with him when he went home after the summer holiday. It's these baskets. I'm going to link the pattern or recipe, or what you might call it, tutorial, underneath. I bought this fabric. I bought at a local craft store. It's lined, and the interfacing is a bit too thick, but I couldn't get a thinner one here. So I need a new rotary cutter as well, because the one I used for this is really old. I need a new one, but I'm not sure this is going to be a thing I'm going to keep doing. Hopefully, because I think I really love sewing again. So I made one more. It's a bit bigger, because you can make these as small or as big as you want, depending on how big your fabric is. This fabric is something, both these fabrics are something I got from Crafting It 7 in Canada. She did a D-stash and she sent me some of her fabrics. And the lining is upside down on this one. And the reason is because when you fold it down, I wanted the cat heads to be the right side up. So the lining is upside down. So this is the second one I made, and the thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to look online for a bit thinner interfacing, because this interfacing is really chunky, and that makes the baskets a bit too soft, if you get what I mean. Or not too soft, and it's a pain turning this inside out after you finish the sewing, and my sewing machine isn't exactly struggling getting through all this, but when you have double this thick of an interfacing, it's a bit of a pain. So I'm going to, because I haven't sewed in years, so I hate saying that word because it sounds so weird. I have no idea what stuff is called. It's interfacing in English, at least, but I'm going to be shopping at a Norwegian web store. So let's see what I can find. Because I don't want the thinnest one. That's called flisseline in Norway, because that's too thin. I want a bit thicker than that. So I'm going to do a bit of searching on the internet. My rotary cutter, I can get a new rotary cutter at my local yarn store. So that I'm buying at her shop. So that's the sewing, and then we have all the spinning. First, I'm going to show you the yarn I have been spinning for Sue, Crafting It 7. She gifted me some wool, some fiber from her stash, and she also sent me some fiber that I was going to spin for her. And it was 2 braids from Into the World. I'm pretty sure they're both from Into the World. I have misplaced one of the labels, I'm sorry. And this is the first one. None of these have been soaked or snapped, so I don't know the yardage. Or this I know, sorry, I know the yardage of this one. It hasn't been soaked yet, but I have measured the yardage. It's 12 wraps per inch, and it's 190 meters. So that's the first one, but again, it hasn't been soaked or snapped. Usually I don't measure the yardage until after I've soaked the yarn. But for this one I did it once I was finished. The second Into the World is still on my Niddy Noddy. I finished plying this the day before yesterday, and I put it on the Niddy Noddy yesterday. Sorry, this morning. So tomorrow I can take this off. So probably on Wednesday I might not be dyeing fiber, I might be soaking yarn. We'll see, I can do both. if I feel like it. And the third and final one is from Seattle Sky Dye Works, and this is what it looks like. This is I wanted her to be able to knit herself a Musselburgh, so I did what I've been doing for my Musselburghs. I bought merino from Ulvey in this green, yellowish greenish color that I plied with the fiber that Sue sent me, and this is enough for a Musselburgh. So, and I still don't know the yardage of this either because I haven't soaked or snapped it yet. So that's the fiber Sue sent me that I was going to spin for her, and then we can look at I have lots of stuff around me on the floor, so I have to bend down to get it. This was a rainbow braid. I think this has to be a DK. Because this I spun end to end and then I chain plied it because I wanted a rainbow gradient. So I'm not sure of the yardage on this one, but I'll find out as soon as I've soaked and snapped it and I measure it. So that's one of them. And the other one is from that I have finished spinning. I have more, but it's I'm going to show you at the end of the episode when I go into show and tell. And this is from Nitty and Color. It was an art bat, and it's called the Grape Tea. And this was 50 grams of fiber. And it's really sparkly and nice, and it's a bit uneven because it's an art bat. It was an art bat, so it's I bet this is about a DK, maybe a heavy sport light DK. And again, I'm not sure what I'm going to use this for, but it's really pretty. So I'll find out. So that's the fiber from Sue, and then there is this. This is a fractal spin. It's Arctic. It's an Arctic sunset colorway that I dyed myself, and I fractal spun it. And I think this is maybe enough for a pair of socks. I was thinking I'm going to just knit a snake with this and put in heels and toes and everything afterwards. So that's that one. If I've shown you this before, I'm really sorry, but it's been a while since I recorded a podcast, but I don't think I've shown you this before. Maybe I showed you the fiber, not sure. So I'm going to do a snake with this, a sock snake. And the last finished spinning I was going to show you, I can show you one of the skeins first. This was a teal gradient that I bought from Stulenstrik, and this is the second skein. The first skein is already in use because I'm knitting a Musselburgh for my youngest son. And this is also a fractal spin. He was present for the spinning and plying of this yarn, and he sort of wanted something knit with the yarn because he's been present for the making of it, and he really loved the colors. And I showed him my Musselburgh and asked him, maybe you need a really warm hat, and he agreed. So this is his Musselburgh. I was hoping to get it done before we went to visit him this coming weekend, but I don't think so. But it's a road trip, so this will be my car knitting and hotel knitting as well. Because it's really easy, and I'm going to measure on the one I knit for myself how long I'm going to knit before I start decreasing. So I might have to bring a measuring tape so I don't knit too far and have to frog back. But I think I'm about halfway or something like that. So that's the FO spinning, and I wanted, and when it comes to works in progress, it's this, the Musselburgh for my son, and I've picked up my a sweater I started late winter, early spring, and put aside when it started getting warmer. I now picked it back up. This is Stripes by Andrea Mowry, and the yarn is handspun. It's Jacob. The grey is, or it's a brown grey. It's a natural colored Jacob, and this is undyed natural colored white Jacob that I dyed cinnamon toast. And this is something I'm going to be wearing in the winter, so I think it's going to be a bit oversized, but I really don't mind. And because it's 100% wool, if it's really, really oversized, I can felt it a tiny bit because it's not superwash. So that is those are my whips. I don't have any more whips that I'm working on. I have quite a bit of show and tell though. So maybe I should talk about that. We can start with the fiber, the rest of the fiber that Sue sent me. This is also D-Stash, I think. I don't think she bought this now. This is actually superwash. It's a merino superwash, and it's really, really me with all these neons. I'm thinking about doing the same with this as I did with this. Applying it with a light grey. I might apply it with an undyed, but I think it would look nicer with a light grey. So that's something I have to dye up if I decide to do that. It's really, really pretty though. I was also thinking I could just split it in two, spin them end to end, and apply it on itself. But I don't think I want to do that. So either I'm going to dye up some fiber in one of the colors, neon colors from the fiber, or I'm going to use a light grey. That I haven't decided yet. It might actually be fun to dye up some fiber in a neon pink or a lime green or something to apply this with. We'll see what I come up with. I'm dyeing up fiber on Wednesday for this, and I think maybe for this. But this is so pretty. And this is a new to me fiber. It's Cormo. And Sue bought this for me at a festival. And the brand is Akara. And she sent me footage from the festival and asked me to pick one. And I picked this one. And again, I'm not sure what to do with this, what to apply it with. And maybe a light blue. I think that might be pretty for this one, a light blue. I could also save it for a combo spin, because I really want to do a combo spin. But probably I'll just, because I really want to spin this, because it's a new to me fiber, I really want to spin this. I could spin it and have it on the bobbin, of course, until I dyed up the fiber. So that might be what I'm doing with this. I might just do that. Just spin it up and keep it on the bobbin until I finished. And that's the thing, because the good thing about doing that is at the start I wanted to ply this fiber with one of the other fibers Sue sent me, because it worked in the braid. But as soon as I spun it, it looked totally different. So that might actually be a good idea, to spin this first and then decide what color to ply it with, because it looks like a variegated, beautiful variegated in the fiber, in the braid, and as soon as you spin it, it turns to be more of a tonal, basically. It doesn't look as variegated. So I might miss completely if I dye the fiber first and then spin this. So maybe I should do that with both these. Spin them first and then dye up yarn to ply it with. I have a limited amount of bobbins though, but I've cleared a lot of bobbins the last couple of days. So I have quite a bit of empty bobbins now. So maybe I have one project that I'm working on. I still have a bobbin. It's something I've dyed up for myself, tease water, that I dyed up for myself to knit a sweater, only that the tease water is more scratchy than I thought. It's a bit rustic. It's more rustic than I thought. So I'm struggling getting the motivation to finish that spin, because I'm not sure I'm going to wear a sweater knit with that yarn. I've also spun up some undyed, because I wanted to use that for a contrast color for the tease water. But again, I'm not sure I'm going to knit a stranded sweater. Excuse me. With that, a stranded sweater with that yarn, because it's a bit scratchy. Sorry about that. I had to break for a coughing fit. As I was saying, because I had the sweater quantity of the tease water, and I decided that I'm probably never going to use it for a sweater. So maybe I should just put the rest of the fiber into braids, or into one braid, and use it as a price for the fluff to stuff. And that way I can clear the last bobbin. I only have a tiny bit on it, and I can give the rest of the fiber off as a price. See, I've decided to do that. Live on camera, as I always decide. I decide a lot of stuff on the podcast while I'm talking about it. And I haven't got any more sweater quantities of fiber, but I do that myself. I dye up yarn, and I have enough for 2 sweaters, or maybe 3 if I do 500 grams for a sweater. I feel like divided it into 2, because then I know positively that I have enough for a sweater. I don't have to worry about it. And that's the Teague that Crafty Knitted 7 sent me from Canada. And I have 1.5 kilos of that. And I've been thinking of doing a combo spin with that, because I wanted to try a combo spin. So if I dye up half of it and divide that into, let's see, 3 or 4 braids, and dye them in the same color family but use different techniques, and then do a combo spin afterwards, because I really want to try a combo spin. So I might do that with half of it. I feel both my fiber dyeing and my spinning is good enough now that I dare touch the Teague. I haven't I haven't felt like doing that before. I felt like I can actually dye up fiber and spin without destroying the fiber. I also have I participated in the Tour de Fleece this year, and I had as a target to spin at least 4 or 5 different breeds. I managed to do that, but I still haven't touched my Southdown, and I think that's the only one I haven't done anything with yet. Maybe the Wensleydale is still untouched. The Southdown is really, really soft, and I'm thinking about using Southdown and pair that with the Cormo, because the Cormo is really, really soft as well. So if I pair this with the Southdown, I think that's going to be a really, really nice spin. And something else I picked up on a spinning forum on actually on Tour de Fleece on Facebook. I asked about knitting socks with handspun, and everybody said that as long as it's a long stapled fiber, you can knit socks with handspun, even if it hasn't got any nylon in. And Southdown was actually one of the fibers they mentioned as that worked really well for socks. And I think they mentioned Wensleydale as well. But the staple length is something you can just search it on the internet, Google staple length and the different fibers. And if it's a long staple length, it works for socks. And the last thing I'm going to show you for show and tell is something I got instead of a yarn advent. I got a fiber advent from Lavallee. And this year I ordered the mixed advent. So it's different colors, different fibers. It's a lot of different stuff. And what I've decided to do with that is I'm going to spin it. From day to day, I'm going to spin the fiber. And the next day, using the Andean bracelet method, I'm going to ply it and spin day 2. Well, the same day as I ply day 1, if you know what I mean. And keep going like that. So at the end, I'll have 24 mini skeins of loads of different fibers and colors. And I'm not sure what to do with that yet, but I was thinking it would be fun doing granny squares with them. I'll see, but that's my plan. I was originally I was thinking of just spinning end to end and just joining as I go, and then chain plying. But I haven't got the faintest what I would use that for. So I'm going to make 24 mini skeins of handspun. Yarn advent is expensive, so I decided against that. But then I noticed that Beehive yarns, I've had 2 of her advents before. I really love her advents. And she's selling mystery bundles of minis, 6 minis. And the price is actually affordable. So I'm collecting a yarn advent from Beehive. I've spread it out. So I just ordered my 3rd bundle of 6, and I'm going to buy 1 more this fall. So I have 24 mini skeins from Beehive yarns, and these are the first 2. And she's gone to the trouble of color coordinating them. And that made me think, oh, maybe I shouldn't use it as a yarn advent, maybe I should use it in different projects because they are color coordinated. But I have mini sets that are color coordinated, that are meant to use in a project. So what I'm going to do with these, and when I have 24 of them, I'm going to put them all side by side and move them around until I'm satisfied. And then I'm going to make myself an advent calendar. I'm not going to wrap them or anything because I know what they look like. But I'm going to number them 1 to 24 because I'm going to decide, or maybe I'll just put them in a basket and then pick one that I feel like work with the one from the day before. At the moment, I'm thinking of the Radvent throw by Amber O'Brien. But if you have any suggestions for a crochet project for that uses 24 20-gram minis, feel free to message me, because my knitting mojo isn't all that. I really want to crochet. So I want a crocheted advent project this year, but I haven't found anything. I really want to do the Battenberg blanket. That won't work though, because that's a typical scrap yarn project basically, because it's tiny squares. And just looking, because the screen suddenly turned dark, but no, it's still recording. I'm a professional. So, and I need to combine it with an undyed, I think, the Battenberg. But that's a join as you go blanket. And I want to be different colors for all the squares. So that won't work for this. So again, the Radvent throw by Amber O'Brien is the project I'm thinking about. But I would rather crochet something, so if you have a suggestion, let me know. So that's what I had today. Not a lot of live stuff, but at the end of this podcast there will be a long picture and footage and stuff from this summer. I put it at the end this time because it's probably going to be longer than the usual montages I make. So that's at the end of this video. If you don't care to watch that, feel free to just turn this off now. But I'll see you again at the end of September. This is my birthday month, and the next time I'm talking to you, I just turned 59. So I'm starting to get a bit scared, because next year I'm turning the big 60, and then I'm starting to feel old, because I'm still 50 something, if you know what I mean. But next year I'm turning 60, and that's scary. But anyways, I'll see you again at the end of the month, and I hope you have a beautiful September and that you enjoy the start of autumn with all the beautiful colors. So that's it for now. Bye bye.